Okay, who can read the objective on the top of your page? Objective on the top of your page. Lauren.
Students will demonstrate skill and understanding of terms slicing, paring, dicing, and food preparation. Lab routines and procedures will be followed.
Okay, awesome. What we are doing is I'm going to be demonstrating how to create your fruit and vegetable platter. One platter is per your group, okay? Each person is in charge of a specific fruit or vegetable, and they're going to be using these tools in here to cut and to peel and to slice and to dice that fruit and vegetable. So let's go through some of this equipment because a lot of it I want you to cross off. So make sure you have your pen or pencils ready. First thing is a colander. Okay, if you look over on the board, this is a colander. It's found in your cabinet 5 or 6. And what this is used for is just to kind of wash the fruits and vegetables so there's no dirt on them. You can also strain pasta in here, so there's many uses for that. Vegetable brush, please cross out. Because these fruits and vegetables, you don't really need to use a vegetable brush. That's mostly used for potatoes. If you have like real dirty potatoes, that kind of helps to get the dirt off. You will need an apple slicer. How many of you have used this before? Okay, so you should know what to do with that. You are going to need, you will not need, so cross out, melon scoop. Some quarters, when the cantaloupe is in season, we use cantaloupe, but for this lab, we're going to be using a pear for that other choice. What does it mean with a fruit and vegetable being in season? What does that mean? Chloe?
Like fruits and vegetables grow in different seasons. So, it's more common to find strawberries in the summer than in the winter, unless it's like really old and they're at like a supermarket and they're like close to their expiration date, but like they're still good.
Good, right. And usually, you know, strawberries and the berries, which are my favorite, they're grown in the summer. So if you see them in the store right now, they might not be old, but they're going to be shipped from a different country because it's not really hot here, right? So that's why they cost so much money, because they're like on a truck and on an airplane or whatever it takes for them to get here. Right? That's why they cost a lot. That's why they say to eat in season, because it's not so expensive. So right now we're eating apples, which are in the fall. We're eating pears, which are in the fall as well. And usually carrots and celery you find year-round. Okay? You all need paring knives. Tomorrow, or I'm sorry, not tomorrow, Monday, you're going to be getting a container. There's going to be a lot of different paring knives. Paring knives are used to cut and to peel fruits and vegetables, so they're really small if you look on the screen. This is a chef's knife. It's a little larger. See that? Okay. This has a cover on it. This is very, very sharp because these are brand new. So at the end of the period, you need to make sure this cover goes in there. Why do you think I'm not going to be placing this in the sink, but on the side of the sink to wash? Dylan.
So, like, if the dishwasher person reaches their hand in there so they like don't get cut, so they can do the knives last.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to properly hold this chef's knife, okay? And we're going to go over some safety precautions. Usually a chef's knife, the blade is a little bit larger if you're working in like a kitchen and you're like a chef or in some kind of facility with the kitchen. But for Monday's purpose, this is just a smaller blade, okay? You will need vegetable peelers, so you'll find one in that container, and then you'll find another one in drawer 3. So write that down, drawer 3. You will find one of the vegetable peelers. You will not need a fork, so cross that out. Sometimes with the cucumber, we place markings with a fork, and then when you cut it out or cut it and slice it, it looks kind of cool, but we're not going to do that. Cutting board. You will have a variety of cutting boards in cabinet 5 or 6. one cutting board per person. So I should not see, 3 different people on the same cutting board. Paper toweling. You will need paper toweling when you go to peel the apple and the carrot. And why do you think I tell you to peel something on the paper towel? What is the purpose of that? Matt?
So when all the skin comes off, it goes on the towel, not on the counter?
Exactly. And then I just take this, throw it in the garbage. I've seen in the past, people then begin to cut on the paper towel with all the peel. No, you want to take the peel in the garbage, then cut on the cutting board. Okay. You need a platter or dinner plate. So you will find all of this except your spoons in cabinet 1. Cabinet 1. This is for your dips, and you're arranging the fruits and vegetables on the platter. Okay? Spoons you see, and then this is a crinkle cutter, and I'll explain how to use that. Okay? So number 1, follow all lab procedures and routines. Number 2, wash all fruits and vegetables. I already did that, but that is letter A. Number 3, prepare fruits and vegetables according to the letter assigned above. Apple, we're going to slice and cut out the core. So, usually when you eat an apple, you don't peel it. I'm kind of weird. I don't like the peel. And I also want you to practice peeling. But in the peel, it's very, very healthy. Okay, there's something called pectin, which helps your digestive system. And there's also a main vitamin in all fruits. Do you know what that is? What is the main vitamin in all fruits? Carter?
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C. Vitamin C, do we know what that helps your body with? Ben?
Vitamin C is what, the vitamin C, it was identified in every single thing that is citrus.
Exactly, yes, very good. And that's why they say when you have a cold, to drink orange juice or to eat an orange, because what does it help with, Maddie?
Does it help with your, bones,
That's vitamin D and calcium in dairy products. Okay, John?
Sorry,
It's okay.
I'm gonna hope this one's right.
Okay.
It helps your digestive system and your intestines.
It might a little, but it helps your immune system. So when you have a cold or you want to prevent colds, vitamin C helps with that. Okay. Now there's a different main vitamin in all vegetables, and we'll talk about that. But when I peel this, you notice I'm not holding the whole apple like this, because then I'm going to be peeling my finger. So I hold it from the bottom and then the top. And then I just go around and I peel this. Okay. So again, you don't have to peel it like if you're at home, because there's a lot of healthy vitamins in the peel. But I want you to peel it because I want you to practice this. So one of the students in 4th period said they have a difficult time peeling, and I think that's because some of you put too much pressure on the peel, and then when you go to the peel, it's hard to actually peel the skin off. So just really lightly take the skin off.
It's like you're whittling.
I know, right? Okay. So I'm gonna go around the bottom. And what are some other things you peel with the peeler? Other things you'd peel with a peeler? Penelope?
Potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes. What else? Mikey?
Carrots.
Carrots. Good. Anything else? Rachel?
Cucumber.
Yeah, cucumber. Good. Okay. Now, I even made a mess even with the paper toweling, so let's try to get all that on the paper towel so I can throw that out. Now, when I go to cut this is kind of a tip. I am going to be using this apple core, but I'm going to first of all use this chef's knife, and I'll show you what I want you to do. Okay. Let's talk about some safety precautions of this. When I took some classes in college that were meant for students that actually wanted to be chefs, we spent about 3 hours learning how to cut, chop, dice, because that's important if you work in a restaurant or some kitchen setting, because you don't want to get your food and someone has the same dish, but their apples are this big and then the other person's apples are this big. So when you're cutting something, you need to make sure you're precise and accurate and everything's the same size, okay? Whenever you are cutting with a chef's knife, you notice how I have a really big grip on the handle. Okay, I almost hold it a little bit up like this. You don't have to, you can hold it back here. But they taught us that you need to hold it up like this so you have more of a firm grip. When you are cutting something, it's always a rocking motion. Sometimes I put my hand on the top if I want to make real small dices, so finely chopped. Okay? You notice I'm not going like this. You will never hear that sound this whole period. Okay? It's a nice rocking motion. Okay? But when I go to use this apple core, I always take the bottom and I'm going to just slice it off. Okay, why do you think I do that? What's the purpose? Penelope?
Maybe so that you don't have to, because you didn't peel it, so that it's neater when you cut.
Okay, maybe. What else? What else? Aiden? Okay, that's true. Sarah?
Because you want it to be flat, and then when you put the cord, if it's not flat, then it'll rock backwards.
Exactly. Awesome. Anything that is just going to be moving around everywhere, cut the bottom off. If you're peeling an orange with a knife, cut the bottom off. When I'm peeling a pear, I'm going to show you what to do. That way it's not wobbling everywhere. Okay, it's very sturdy, it's safer. Then I'm going to take the core, or the apple slicer. Make sure that circle's in the middle so I can eliminate that core. And then I'm going to just rock it kind of back and forth like this. Okay, and at the end you can kind of hit it so that all the slices come off. Okay, and then I'm just left with this core. This we throw in the garbage.
It's good.
Now, you can end there, but since you guys are going to be sampling some of this at the end of the period, I'm going to slice these in half. You notice how I changed my knife because this would be too big to cut this. That's why these paring knives are very helpful. So I'm just going to slice this in half. And you can do this if you want to so that you have more pieces. Notice how my fingers are away from that blade as best as you can. Because I know the apple's not very big. Okay. But how many of you have worked with knives at home? Okay, good. Most of you. That's good. I've never had anyone cut themselves in here, so I don't expect you to either. Okay. Now, I've arranged this around the platter. John?
I haven't cut something with a knife before, but I have been cut by a knife.
Well, we're going to make sure we're safe.
through me actually, and I went to go take one. It wasn't like cut off my finger,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, someone is talking who should be listening. Okay. Letter B is the cucumber. Now, these are what we call English cucumbers. Okay, I like these a lot because you don't have to peel them because the skin is very thin compared to a normal cucumber. Okay. Also, I like these because there's hardly any seeds in them. Sometimes the normal cucumbers are very bitter. So in the past, I've given you a lot, but I decided just to give you a little because I usually end up with a lot of people throwing extras out. But
Can we peel it if we want to?
if you want, sure. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this knife and just very carefully create slices. Okay. So just like that.
I use those at home.
What did you say?
I have those cucumbers at home.
Do you? Yeah, they're good. So you notice I'm just making slices. Making slices. And these don't have a lot of seeds, so that's why it looks kind of green, right? Okay. Yes, Carter.
Wait, just curious, are there any tongs in like the cabinets or anything?
Yeah.
Because if there are, you can just like use the tongs to hold instead of your fingers instead of risking it.
True, but I don't want you to do that. I want your practice.
Well, still, in like future references, you may as well just do that stuff.
Right, but usually if you're in a kitchen setting, they don't do that, and I want you to practice like you are. Okay? Matt.
I was just wondering, pickles or cucumbers?
Exactly. And cucumbers have pretty much 90% of water in them. They don't have a lot of vitamins. They're just pretty much water.
Pickles are like
No, pickles are just, they put vinegar and let them sit
They're
there.
pickled cucumbers.
Pickled, exactly. Okay. Now, letter C is the carrot. So some more paper toweling I need. I might give you 2 carrots because these are pretty thin. But when I peel the carrots, okay, because we know this grows underground, and usually at the top there's a bunch of like green leafy things, but we cut that off before it reaches you in the store. So we're gonna cut that top off too. But when I peel something, I don't lift it up in the air and peel like this because it's very unsturdy. You wanna hold it and you wanna let it rest on the counter or the cutting board. And I just go around and peel that. Now, what is the main vitamin in vegetables? Do we know? Main vitamin in vegetables, and you will learn this throughout your exercise, your option program. Rachel?
Vitamin A.
Yeah, vitamin A, very good, okay. Another vitamin that a carrot has is vitamin K, which helps your eyesight. Vitamin A helps your eyes too, and it helps your cells and your body grow properly. So if you're not getting any fruits and vegetables, then that's not very healthy for you.
I love carrots.
Okay. Now, I'm going to be cutting off the end, and you notice I'm not hearing a chopping noise, but I'm just rocking the knife. And I can cut this end up too. Now, what you're going to do, you can use this crinkle cutter. These are pretty thin, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but I'll show you what to do. Cut this in half. Okay. Now, you want to get a side that's not going to roll around everywhere, so you want to be kind of careful. And I'm going to adjust this on here, and then I want to move my fingers. Okay, and I'm going to kind of rock it back and forth. You see? You can't see. Hold on. Kind of made like a crinkle. You see that on the board? Okay. Now, when I continue to do this, I don't want to cut it so that this rock or the curved side is on near the cutting board. I want to turn it and flip it so it's nice and steady. Okay, and again, I put this on here, and I can rock it back and forth. Okay, and I'm creating slices. See that? Yeah, and this one, yeah, carrot fries, exactly. This one too, be careful, because these kind of are very thin. And I'm gonna cut these in half just so we have more for when you try them, but you can make them a little bit bigger. So just like that, and they're all similar size. Next on the list, celery.
Miss Galano,
Yeah?
with the carrots, couldn't you, with the crinkle cutter, couldn't you do it, like, if the carrots like that long, couldn't you put it, like, make it like the surface?
Okay, so you said to chop them like this?
Yeah.
No, because it's gonna be hard to dip. But you can do that any other time. Harder.
just curious, when we come up to try this, do we have to try every single one of them or no?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't obviously force anyone, but I suggest that you try these because it takes 15 times to try something and to like it. So if you've never tried carrots because you tried them once at your grandma's house and hated them, then that doesn't mean after the 10th time you're going to still hate them. So I'd rather you try them. Even if it's a little bite and you're like, I don't like it, then don't eat it. Okay? Rachel.
Does it matter like which one we do first? Because would it be better to do the apple last because it could get brown?
If you want, and that's a good question. It does get brown sometimes. It doesn't mean it tastes bad. It's just the oxygen oxidizes it, and then that's why it turns brown. That's why banana does too. Moving on. John, we can answer your question at the end real quick. These celery, you notice I cut this bottom off just because there's a lot of dirt down there. Okay, so just, it's not gross, that's where fruits and vegetables
I know, I was just saying you're wrong.
So I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'd probably cut these in half again. Then I'm going to slice this. Now you notice I'm removing my fingers, and then I'm just kind of holding the top like that. And again, same thing here. And then I'm arranging it along the plate. Now the pear, if you don't have a letter E, then whoever's done first can cut the pear. Now these pears look kind of different because the skin is a brown color. There's a variety, a variety of different pears. Some of these pears have like a bright green color to them. Some have this brownish color, but these are very sweet. Okay. Now, when you go to cut this, you do not have to take the skin off. It's optional. But I'm going to, again, cut the bottom off. That way, it's not going to move around everywhere. The pear has a smaller core than the apple, so I'm just going to take this, and I can imagine the core is in there, so I'm just going to cut around here. Now, this is a little challenging because my fingers are kind of close to that knife. So if you need help that day, then I can help you. This goes in the garbage. Now I'm going to show you what you need to do with the slices. Notice I flip them so that the flat side is on the bottom. Okay? And I'm just going to take this and just slice them. Okay? Just like that. Again, my fingers are nowhere near that plate. Now, these go around. In the dip on Monday, you're going to have one that's for your vegetables and one that's for your fruits.
Is it going to be caramel for the fruits?
No. These are yogurt based because they're healthier. Okay?
Is one of them gonna be ranch?
I'm similar to ranch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you time. A lot of you are being very disrespectful. Okay. I want to give you time to work on your exercise, your options, but let's look at the bottom of this. Number 6, it says, presentation, to put on a bed of leafy lettuce. This is kind of for, to make it look better and make the fruits and vegetables pop. This is only if you're maybe doing this at home, like for a party, but we're not going to do that. Number 7, tables should be set with not placemats, so cross that out. Napkins, and I'm going to give you paper plates instead of regular plates. That way you'll have enough time to eat. Good manners and courtesies are followed, meaning you're not dipping your vegetable in the dip. You're taking the spoon, putting the dip on your plate. Where do your napkins go immediately when you sit down? On your lap. Okay, so when you go to a restaurant or maybe one day when you have a business meeting, you always put that napkin on your lap the first moment you sit down. And we're going to be talking a lot more about table setting because I know it gets kind of confusing when you have multiple forks and multiple spoons and multiple knives. Okay, so we'll talk about that later in the quarter. And then clean up according to lab procedures and get kitchen checked before leaving. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is you need to work on your exercise, your options books now. I'm going to dismiss you by tables to go wash your hands so you can eat some of the fruits and vegetables. Okay? So lights on, get started on the exercise your options.
Miss G, am I done? Miss G, how do I stop the...
It just says power or...
The right button.